Was Phase 4 really that bad? There's just been a lot of talk about the state of the MCU right now, particularly everything like after Endgame. So I'm going to go through a list of the films, and then we'll go through this felt, we were disappointed, it was fun, and it was a hit. Those are our three choices there. All right. So first one, Black Widow.
It was fun.
I thought it was fun. No. I was only disappointed in the fact that it should have came earlier. I think things would have hit harder if it came between Winter Soldier and Civil War.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I wasn't disappointed. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything groundbreaking.
Nah.
But it was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
It was phenomenal. It was very
fucking
good.
Banger. I love that joint. I don't know how people feel about it, but when Kung Fu or rap music, when you put those two things together, it don't ever really miss for me, to be quite honest. It's always going to be a banger. All right. Next one, Eternals.
Okay. To be honest, I was disappointed. But the reason why I was disappointed is because they presented it to me like it was going to be like some sweeping, like Oscar worthy, like out of this world, like nothing, no Marvel movie I've ever seen type thing. So I was disappointed on my first watch. When I watched it again, I was like, this is it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I still love it. I know it has its flaws, but it's still one of my like imperfectly perfect films that I would just always love. I do agree with that. There are moments where I'm like, if they could have just removed their Marvel hands and just let the director, Chloe Zhao, do what she wanted, maybe we could have gotten something a little bit different. Yeah. Because the tones felt a little bit off sometimes. Mm-hmm. But all right, I guess we'll put it in fun. Yeah. Fun category. All right. I mean, come on. Spider-Man No Way Home.
You already know.
All right. We'll just move on to the next one. It's a given. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm putting fun because you can't go wrong with Wanda. Boy, she popped off, bro. I'm sorry. She popped off, bro.
I was disappointed.
Disappointed? Okay, why were you disappointed? What were you expecting and where did it fail?
I feel like he was teetering between two things. That I think he wanted to go full on like dark, scary, horror. You know, but I guess he was limited and could not do that, I'm assuming. And so to me, it came off as kind of kooky. Oh, okay. At several points. I was like...
But honestly, that kookiness is in Sam Raimi's style. Like, there's some kookiness in the Spider-Man films. Like, he does the dance when he walks out of the dresser store.
It's bad. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a style, you know, that those who love it. Those that don't. That's just kind of what it is. Yeah. You know, but I get it. I'll put it in fun. What we thought we were going to get in Multiverse of Madness, we're going to get in Deadpool. Like a full-on multiversal pandemonium happening left and right, versus with that one, it was just like, oh, people in different universes, and they all just kind of died.
Wait, that's what we're getting in Deadpool?
I think so.
Why do you think that?
I'm not saying any spoilers on there. We can probably talk about it off the air, but I think that's what we'll get in that one. Because remember, Hugh Jackman's showing up.
I know, but I thought it was just him.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. All right, Thor: Love and Thunder is a disappointment.
Here's the thing. Did I have fun? Yes. Not because it was just so bad that I just had to laugh. I mean,
fun in like a Fast and Furious kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it twice. I watched it with you guys, and then I watched it with my family.
What did they think?
They thought it was crazy. And it's just so insane.
You know why I was disappointed? Because Taika Waititi, he did Ragnarok, and then we got Jojo Rabbit, where I'm like, okay, this dude knows how to make hits. And then they bring in Christian Bale, and if you know me, Dark Knight is my favorite movie of all time. So bringing in an actor like that as successful, probably you could argue the most successful Marvel actor that they brought in during that phase. I'm stand by that, personally, in terms of accolades and what he's accomplished in his career.
Probably, I think.
And then they brought in Russell fucking Crowe to be Zeus. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be a banger, right? Because they're bringing in like real actors that know how to like steal a scene.
The goofiness was just so over the top. It was just so over.
And they cut a lot of both of their scenes out.
I really want to understand like Taika Waititi, like kind of what happened, because I feel like he had like the formula, and then he was like, "Let's just ratchet it up." And
I'm like, put the Nost all the way
why
up.
did we do that? It was such a strange choice. The screaming donkeys.
Okay, that was actually kind of funny.
I laughed. Because it was so absurd.
Yeah.
It was so... Not because it was like, what a great joke. It was just like, what is going on?
It was frustrating. Do
you want to say one thing I remember when we watched it? After we watched it with Jordan and Imani. I do remember immediately hearing Imani say, was that even a good movie? I don't know. Like immediately she was like, was that good?
It's like you couldn't even process the absurdity at the moment. All right, last one. Wakanda Forever. Banger. I loved it.
You already know.
Namor, loved the character. Shuri, oh my God. The music in that one, I don't know if it topped the first one, but it's up there, bruh. Because the scene when she drops down and they see her with the suit.
I feel like Letitia Wright is not getting enough credit for the swag that she brought to that role.
Yeah.
I just feel, and I feel like part of it is because we're still mourning Chadwick and like somebody else filling that role. But I feel like after we saw Black Panther and we saw Chadwick in that role, like he was getting so much attention and accolades for how he brought that character to life and to the screen. And I feel like Letitia deserves some of that.
Yeah.
Because to me, I thought she was extremely charming. And I thought she did a phenomenal job showing the sadness and the turmoil. I mean,
it's hard
I
because
feel like we should have been hearing from her since then in at least a bit of the same way that we were hearing from Chadwick. Like he was on all the talk shows and he was everywhere.
It's the COVID stuff. That's probably what it was. Now, I don't want to get into that. There's a lot of opinions around the vaccine.
Her stance.
Yeah, from a racial perspective, there's even more nuance in terms of feelings about medicine. I don't want to get into that right now. Obviously, we are pro-vaccine couples. I'm going to make that clear. But I'm just letting you know, people probably pulled back probably because of that. I
just feel like
it's just kind of
people in Hollywood have gotten away with much worse.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we're going to jump over to TV shows.
Okay.
All right. So was Phase 4 as bad as we thought it was? We're going TV shows now. Okay. So first up, WandaVision. Banger. I don't care what anybody says. I know they did the whole Ralph Boner. I don't care. You all know.
I forgot.
We were locked in every single week, and that was when I started to see a lot of those like YouTubers really start to blow up because the fan theories and the Easter eggs were everywhere in those episodes. We were eating that stuff up, bro.
Also, it was actually unique. Like I think probably the first and maybe only truly unique Marvel project we've ever gotten.
Outside of Black Panther, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
But I would argue this is probably a little bit more unique, though.
Yes.
Not in terms of cultural style, but in terms of like the stylistic approach of their storytelling.
And the concept. Like it was like for the first several episodes, we were like, "What's going on? Who knows? I'm just here to tune into the next style of sitcom that they do." Like
when she rolled the credits on us, I was like, "Wait. Is my iPad lagging right now?"
Nuts. It was nuts.
Crazy. Absolutely bonkers.
Oh, man. And
it was Agatha all along. What? Banger. Come on now.
I think that's another thing that made me feel a little bit disappointed in Multiverse of Madness is because I feel like the complexity that they gave Wanda
was
in
oversimplified.
This show was very oversimplified in the film. And that was disappointing to me.
I agree.
I think that was probably one of the biggest things I didn't like.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the difference. What was her name? I think it's Jack Schaefer. I think that's the difference when you've got a female head writer versus someone that's probably not a woman.
Yeah.
It's just you don't really get it. You don't really get it. All right, next up, Falcon Winter Soldier.
I quite liked it.
I'm putting that in banger.
Yeah. Everybody had a lot of thoughts about that show. I feel like it gets like a little bit like forgotten. Probably also because like we haven't heard from those characters
and
since
none of them.
then.
Literally none of them.
But
except for Allegra, she's shown up.
There was a lot of discussion about that show when it was on.
Yeah, about when Bradley showed up.
There was a lot to say.
The racial components. I think this is an MCU problem in general. They kind of muffed the ending a bit.
Yeah, that's true for all the shows. I'm just not going to say it every time.
He worked on Empire.
So he's a black man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got the iconic scene with the shield. Which was, I'm sorry, I kind of felt like that was one of those moments where we were talking about that because it was like, you did that to Chris Evans' shield? Like the audacity. That was so disrespectful. And it's just like the purity of Steve Rogers felt desecrated in that moment, you know? And then the fight scene that we got the following episode, that was Winter Soldier level choreography. And I think people forget about that fight scene a little bit. But it was brutal.
Oh, that's the one with the Dora Milaje?
Oh, I'm not even talking I'm talking about when they were in that safe house.
When she did the thing to his arm? Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm going to watch that fight scene right after that. But okay, banger. All right, next one, Loki. Come on.
Another banger.
Banger. So right now, they're actually not doing as bad as we thought they were.
No.
All right, what if? I think that was a banger.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Loved it. Hawkeye. I thought it was fun.
Personally, I might put that in banger. I really liked Hawkeye.
Okay.
Because I thought that show, the chemistry. Okay, first of all, I thought it was the best at succeeding at what it was trying to be.
Yes.
From start to finish.
That's fair. That's a good point.
It was trying to be fun duo.
Mm-hmm.
Fun duo.
Christmas vibes.
Yeah. And it did that phenomenally, perfectly. I had no notes. And Haley Steinfeld was great, as she always is. And we should be seeing more of her as well.
And this, I think, is the only, obviously, because he was an Avenger, it's the only thing we've really gotten where we've, took time and sat with the trauma of what happened with Thanos. Mm-hmm. We got that with Hawkeye. Not just emotionally, physically, like he's losing his hearing. His body's all bruised up. He's walking with a limp. Like all of that, he's using the bathroom and he sees a thing where it says like Thanos was right, written on the bathroom stall. And he's like, bruh, I fought to save y'all lives. I lost my friends, my best friend, and y'all have the nerve. Like that hits. You know what I mean?
And also, the entire premise is also based on the whole thing that he did between Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's all based on, like, his weird...
the Ronin
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what the name was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is, like, consequences of his actions.
Mm-hmm. All right. Moon Knight.
I thought it was good.
I'd put a banger. Oscar Isaac.
Okay, yeah. Okay, see, yes, Oscar Isaac.
I'm putting that banger. I loved Moonlight, bro. Moon Knight.
The last episode is really killing it.
All right, that's fair. But the second to last episode, to me, was it second to last or the one before that?
I don't know. That was the flashback.
Yeah.
Very good.
That one, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in fun. Maybe I'll put that in fun, I think.
Oscar Isaac's performance was top notch.
Yeah.
I don't know if the story itself or the writing itself was always.
I think they needed more episodes.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think... Yeah.
I just really think that Marvel needs to find another way to end their shows. I guess.
The final battle thing,
man,
it doesn't always have to be there.
To do it every time.
No. Remember in WandaVision, the most interesting part in that finale were the two visions arguing with each other.
Yeah.
That I thought was like, give me more of that stuff. That felt creative. That felt new. It felt refreshing.
It's also like... Here's the thing. If you're not going to put the amount of effort into it as you put in the big fight scenes in your movies, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No, I agree.
We can tell the difference.
I agree. All right, next one, Miss Marvel.
Fun.
I'll put that in fun.
Definitely fun.
If you didn't
She
enjoy
is
it,
just great.
Yeah, I mean, come on, bro.
She's just great.
Even in the Marvels, she's the best thing in that thing.
But I believe it.
Hands down. She-Hulk, attorney at law. No, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
But not for the reasons that all you incels were talking about. There's other reasons.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've said it plenty of times too. I really think it should have been a Monster of the Week court drama. For like court comedy
like
drama.
A real court comedy drama.
Yeah,
not
I think
what they did with this. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it should have been like kind of like Law and Order type vibes, but like funny.
Like parody of it a little bit.
Yeah, like what's gonna be the funny little like superhero court case today?
Because when they were in the court, it
was funny. Yeah, like that kind of stuff was funny. Also, I also feel like you could have done a lot of fleshing things out. Like you can explain a lot about the world.
Yeah.
That we're in now doing stuff like that, because frankly I have a lot of questions actually after that show, because up until this point in the Marvel universe, it's kind of seemed like a very small group of people have superpowers, like the select few that we are following.
Yeah.
And then in She-Hulk, it was like all of these people, and it was like, first of all, if we do not have mutants right now, how are all these people? Because all the people who we know of who have superpowers, something happened,
like circumstance,
and it's actually not even that many people who have superpowers, because some of the people are just like Thor is a god, Iron Man has no powers, Hawkeye has no powers. Like, I mean, Captain America, kinda, but he's just super strong, like the super serum. Black Panther, just really strong because of the, like, superpowers are, up until this point, pretty rare. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly it was, like, mad people with superpowers. It's like, what, how?
Yeah.
Like, explain yourself?
I'd agree. I think what was also disappointing, I loved that we got Daredevil. I thought that they actually presented him well and did a really good job at balancing the tone when he was there. But they were hinting at him for a while, and it felt like a bit of like a bait and switch thing, where it's like she wasn't a big enough name, but Matt Murdock is a big name, and so we're gonna have people tune in waiting to see if he'll show up in that episode. Now, part of that is, and she touches on that, this is my show, which is, you're right. We should want to be watching this for you, not for Matt Murdock, which is fair. I think they could have done it a little bit better without it felt like sneaky. Mm-hmm. Last thing, I want to revisit phase 1 through 3, because I do think there's been a little bit of some revisionist history about, like, people make it seem like it was like all perfect. 1, that's not the case. 2, they actually did not have things all fleshed out. A lot of it was luck. A lot of it was just like circumstance. Like the Infinity Stone backstory, James Gunn just kind of threw that in there. That wasn't something that they were like planning out way back from like the first Iron Man film. No. So that idea, we need to dispel this notion
That's crazy.
of like how perfect Marvel was. But we're going to revisit some of that. All right. So the first one, Iron Man. I'm saying that's a banger.
I know it's a banger for most people, but for me, it's just fun.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was an underdog film. No one expected it to be good.
Right.
The CGI is incredible in comparison to some of the other things we've gotten in Marvel. And I thought Robert Downey Jr., he was great in it. He
did a good job.
Yeah. All right. Incredible Hulk.
I've never seen it.
It's bad. We can move on to the next
Which one? This is the Edward Norton one. Isn't there another Hulk with a different?
Yes, that one was also bad.
Okay.
There has been no great Incredible Hulk film, and anyone who tells you that is lying. All right. Iron Man 2. I was disappointed.
I think I was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I don't think it's
the one with Mickey
good.
Rourke. This dude was also the antagonist.
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah. See,
not
forgettable.
memorable.
So I'm going to say disappointed.
Disappointed, yeah.
Yeah. Thor.
Fun.
It's fun. Captain America First Avenger.
It's just fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously then, Avengers.
I would
Banger.
say banger.
That's the difference. We were able to see them all come together a lot sooner than we've gotten so far in phase 4 and 5, which I think has kind of hurt, because
Well, there's too many of them.
But you could still choose a few, though.
That's what I've been saying. That they should have. I know that the loss of Chadwick
that did hurt it a lot.
Impacted this. And also, if they had a plan to do this, something like that, like it was going to be Chadwick and like 2, 3, 4. What were the other 2, 3, 4, and why didn't we keep going?
I think a lot of messiness happened after Endgame. We lost Chadwick. The Sony deal, I think, scared Marvel a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think they were banking on with Doctor Strange, but like the movie, it's just too quirky, the magic stuff. And that was something that I also noticed a little bit in Loki. It's hard to always establish rules with magic. Because sometimes it can feel like, oh, they're allowed to do this, but they're not allowed to do this. All right. Unless you're like explicitly stating the rule. Like I actually appreciate that with JJK. The narrator makes it very clear of like, they say it fast, but like,
these are the rules.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that also makes it hard in the MCU is that there's all different types of magic with all these different sources.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they have these rules, but then these people have a different set of rules.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one, Iron Man 3. It was fine. It was fun.
I feel like I really liked that movie for some reason.
It was good.
But I think it's probably still just a fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thor: Dark World.
I think it's a disappointment.
And that movie is dookie juice. I'm sorry.
The thing that's hard is that sometimes even with the disappointment movies, I still had fun.
Yeah. I always have fun in all of the movies.
Yeah.
You know. Obviously, Winter Soldier, that's a banger.
Banger.
It's always up there in the S tier. The first Guardians of the Galaxy. Banger. Age of Ultron. It was fun.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. I think it's the weakest, in my opinion, out of the Avengers films,
yes.
Personally.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm saying weakest in terms of just they're all great. This is just comes at the end.
Yeah.
Opinion. All right. Ant-Man.
That's fun.
It's fun. Right. Then we've got Civil War. Banger. Doctor Strange.
Fun.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Fun.
I'd say fun.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok.
Banger. You know how many times I watched that movie?
I know. Black Panther. Banger. Infinity War. Banger. Captain Marvel.
Fun.
And then obviously Endgame. Another banger.
Banger.
So I think what's really catching people here
is that we had so many bangers at the end.
Right.
But most of the first 3 phases were fun.
Right. Once we got to really around Civil War, in terms of the consistency of bangers, that's probably when things really start to come to me. So it's really phase 3 where things are like, oh, this is really good quality.
Yeah.
But prior to that, it had some ups and downs very similar to what we got with phase 4.
Yeah. I think the difference too, though, is like, I think our expectation of superhero movies has changed. I think in the early 2000s and mid 2000s, kind of like nobody took them that seriously.
Yeah.
So you were only expecting it to be fun. So like your expectations were not as high. Like you're going in expecting like a standard action film. Like it's going to be a good time. There's going to be like some good, fun action sequences. It's not going to be anything mind blowing. Like that was the expectation.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until later on when, I mean, obviously you had The Dark Knight and then with Marvel and you start to see them pull out like all these like films that are like, oh no, actually like this is like, I'm having a great time. That they sort of like raise the bar for themselves, and then like immediately afterwards it's like we're not quite meeting that.
Well, we'll see. Next thing we get, I believe, is Echo in January, so we'll see how that one tracks. Thank you all again, and we will see you all next time.